Why you wouldn't survive in North Korea. Maybe you're thinking, I'll just escape. Good luck. Escaping North Korea is like trying to break out of a country-sized prison. First, there's the border, guarded by soldiers who shoot to kill. What happens if you do make it across to China? Well, the Chinese border guards will send you back, where you'll be executed or worse. And even if you do manage to cross the border undetected, you'll still have to deal with the consequences. Defectors are often hunted down and thrown back into North Korea, where they face severe punishment. And even if you're caught trying to escape from China, you'll be sent straight into a labor camp. Many North Korean defectors live in hiding in China, afraid of being caught and deported. Some are even trafficked and forced into modern-day slavery. Escape from North Korea is just the beginning of another nightmare. Total surveillance. North Korea is officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, because nothing stays democracy like a dictatorship. The media, state-owned. The economy, state-controlled. Your thoughts? Well, let's just say, you'd better keep those to yourself unless you're leaving 5-star reviews of the God Emperor Kim. Think you're sneaky? Think again, because in North Korea, every move you make is being monitored. And I'm not talking about some nosy neighbor peeking through the blinds. I'm talking 24/7 surveillance. Cameras, informants, even hidden microphones in your own home. And if you step out of line, well, let's just say you'll be getting a lot of re-education. And the worst part? Half the people spying on you are your own neighbors. You never know who's watching. Say one wrong thing about the government and you'll disappear. Forever. Imagine being a kid and hearing that your father whispered a complaint about food shortages, then going to report him to the police. Your entire family would be sent to prison. North Korea is a world where trust doesn't exist, only fear. Now let's talk about the penalties for stepping out of line. If you're caught criticizing the government, you could be sent to a labor camp, where you'll be worked to the bone in conditions that make a Chinese sweatshop look like a spa. And if you're really unlucky, you could be executed. North Korea isn't exactly a forgiving country. And the amount of times that you will die, it's going to get pretty crazy by the end of this video, so stick around. Starvation. Think you can tough it out? North Korea doesn't care. Over 40% of the population is malnourished, and if you're a foreigner, good luck finding anything to eat. There are no supermarkets, no fast food, just government-controlled rations, if you're lucky enough to get them. And if a drought or a flood hits, people resort to literally eating grass, tree bark, and even rats. It gets that bad in North Korea. During the worst famines, reports emerged of people turning to cannibalism. In some cases, desperate parents were forced to make impossible choices. Either let their kids starve or commit unthinkable acts for their children to get food. These stories are so haunting, but they reveal the true horror of life in North Korea. If you're desperate, you might be able to find some extra food or supplies on the black market. But good luck doing that without getting caught. The penalties for participating in the black market are severe, and you'll be risking your life for a few extra grains of rice. All the food shortages in North Korea happen because our good old friend, Kim, keeps eating it all, starving the entire country.
Come on, man!
The 3 generations rule. Your family pays the price. In North Korea, you're not just responsible for your own crimes, you're responsible for your entire bloodline. Mess up, the 3 generations rule is used. You, your parents, your kids, and even your grandparents get thrown into labor camps. And once you're in, there's no way out. Families are separated, people are worked to death, and children, yes, even children, grow up in these hellholes, never knowing what freedom is. If a family member somehow escapes North Korea, the punishment is even worse. The remaining relatives are treated brutally. Reports suggest that escapees' families can face execution or be sent to camps where they endure torture for the rest of their lives. It's a system designed to keep everyone in line. No escape from propaganda. In North Korea, the Kim family isn't just in charge, they're worshipped like gods. You wake up every morning to the sound of state-approved music blaring from loudspeakers, reminding you of the greatness of the dear leader. After that, you'll probably visit a statue of Kim Il-sung or Kim Jong-il, where you'll bow and pay your respects. The government's message is everywhere, on TV, in newspapers, on billboards, and even in children's cartoons. The goal is to brainwash you into believing that North Korea is the greatest country in the world, and that the Kim family are the only ones who can protect you from the evil outside world. And if you're thinking, hey, I'll just ignore all this rubbish, think again. The government takes loyalty very seriously, and any sign of dissent is met with swift and severe punishment. Next, you'll head to work, but don't expect a 9-to-5 job. Most North Koreans work in state-controlled industries like farming, mining, or manufacturing. And if you're thinking, hey, at least I'll get paid, think again. Wages are barely enough to survive, and most of your income will go towards buying basic necessities. Every home, school, and workplace is required to have portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, and you'd better keep those portraits clean and dust-free. And if you don't, you could be accused of disrespecting the dear leader, and trust me, that's not a charge you want to face. And it's not just about the portraits. You'll be expected to attend regular rallies and ceremonies, where you'll sing songs, chant slogans, and pledge your eternal loyalty to the regime. Oh, and let's not forget about the mandatory self-criticism sessions. That's right, you'll have to sit in a room with your co-workers and publicly criticize yourself for not being loyal enough to the regime. It's like a really awkward team-building exercise, but with significantly higher chances of death. Now let's talk about entertainment. Say goodbye to TikTok, no YouTube, no Netflix. The only thing on TV is government propaganda, playing 24/7. And if you try to smuggle in a foreign movie or K-pop music, that's instant death by firing squad. Even students are forced to memorize absurd stories about their leader's supernatural abilities, like how he never needs to use the bathroom and how he supposedly invented the burger. The propaganda isn't just relentless, it's crazy. Brutal executions. You think death row is bad? In North Korea, executions happen in stadiums in front of thousands of people, including kids. People get shot for crimes as small as watching a South Korean drama, and for the worst crimes, you might be blown up by an anti-tank gun. Yes, a tank-sized gun used to literally obliterate people. Executions aren't just a punishment, they're a warning. The regime ensures that the most brutal killings are public, so people live in constant fear. The message is clear: obedience or death. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, healthcare. It's the only thing North Korea manages to compete with the USA. How useless its healthcare system is. North Korea's healthcare system is, to put it mildly, a disaster. The hospitals are underfunded, understaffed, and often lack basic supplies like antibiotics and painkillers. If you're lucky enough to get treatment, it'll be rudimentary at best. And if you're not, well, let's just say you'll be getting a lot of rest. Permanently. Now let's talk about disease. North Korea is a breeding ground for all sorts of diseases, from tuberculosis to cholera. With the lack of clean water and proper sanitation, you'll be at constant risk of infection. And if you do get sick, good luck getting help. The healthcare system is so overwhelmed that most people just suffer in silence. So if you're thinking that you're gonna tough it out, think again. This isn't a place where you can just pop into a clinic and get a prescription. It's a place where survival is a daily struggle. So could you survive in North Korea? Probably not. But hey, at least you learned something today. Maybe you should appreciate your freedom just a bit more. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments which country you'd like me to drop into next. See you next time.